Okay.
Now it's time for the game.
Yeah, there we go. We're back. Yes. Here in the top right-hand corner, Shakur's Plateau, we have ReIGN Slush. He is spawning as our orange Zerg player. He is up 2-0 on his opponent's team. And hailing from Team Complexity MVP, down here at the bottom left-hand corner, it's not Genius, it is Finale. Finale is our red Protoss player, so here we go. PBZ action on Shakur's Plateau, and no real surprise there. Very easy for Protoss players to wall off this front entrance with a Forge FE, even Nexus first if they're feeling so bold, and forces Zerg players to respond quite a bit to very, very early gateway timing attacks or Stargate play, things like that, because it's pretty hard to connect your creep between the second and the third base. A lot of walk distance there.
Not if Slush goes for his 12 pull, though.
Yeah.
If he goes for his 12 pull, he's going to force Finale to throw the Forge and the cannon up first. And that's why Finale's going to have to send that scouting probe out right away to find out exactly what Slush is doing. And Slush is actually on 12, and it looks like he's starting to save up, so he will do that 12 pull.
We actually watched the execution of that this time. He does double extractor trick and then times this so that he gets his pool, right after. Well, actually queuing up 2 Overlords at the same time right there, which is kind of...
That's weird.
That is kind of weird, but it is going to be that 12 pool build, but he wants to make sure that he doesn't have to invest in any sort of Overlords for a long time. That's actually kind of a creative idea. 2 Overlords at the same time because you can't produce any drones for a while. You get up your early pool, you remain defended against any sort of early aggression, and you have supply overhead, so you can just pump endless amounts of drones from there on out. Just kind of a creative way to approach it.
Yeah, it is a creative way. I would love to see a breakdown as to whether that's more efficient or faster than like a 14 gas, 14 pool, or 14 pool into a 16 hatch, or an 11 pool. So many various builds actually for Zerg. But somebody's got to do the breakdown of that because there's so much different avenues that Zergs can take in the beginning, and I'm not even too sure what the best one is.
Right, I definitely agree with you. It's it would be kind of cool to see where that resource gathering rate is at different points in the beginning of the game compared to other builds. And looks like Finale is just saving up for that. First 400 resources. There's his Nexus, and we'll see a cannon shortly after that.
Yeah, and he had to throw the Forge up first because of that 12 pull opening from Slush, who now has 4 Zerglings on the way and that single Queen. And so the cannon coming up is going to be able to deter any Zergling harass. But these Zerglings initially are there just to delay that pylon from really blocking the hatchery for an extended amount of time.
And the pylon's there not just to block the hatchery, but also to allow Finale to put up his Nexus before he's forced to commit over to the Photon Cannon, which is a nice little place. That Photon Cannon is going to come up just as this probe and Zergling make its way back home. So very nice play, nice sense of timing out of Finale, and we're going to move into a pretty typical macro game.
I wonder if Zergs decided to run. I never thought about this, but you brought up a good point. What if Zergs just forgot about the pylon and decided to run 4 Zerglings across the map right away?
I've seen it happen a couple of times. Players will decide to take this base down here at the bottom right-hand side rather than their natural, and then just run their Zerglings in. But
that's after a 14 hatch usually, or a 14 pool into a 16 hatch.
Definitely, yeah. No, so I don't know with Slush's variation. I'm not sure of that.
I'm going to try that when I go home off my 11 pool build. Instead of going for the pylon, I will send my 4 Zerglings across the map and see if I can get in there first.
See if you can do significant damage?
Yeah, it might be worth it.
We'll report back. I'm curious.
I will report back. This probe won't be reporting back for much longer.
Boom! Headshot. Yeah, it goes down. But it does see that the hatchery's well on its way. Nothing weird or out of the ordinary for his opponent. We do have double gas coming up as well, and is that cybernetic score? Oh yeah, he doesn't have cyber core down yet. That is correct.
At that coverage from Slush on the mini-map. He's everywhere.
Oh wow, very nice. Yeah, take a look at his vision right there. Even has vision into his opponent's base. Very nice.
Really good coverage of Overlords, of Zerglings, 2 Xanaga towers being held as well.
And continually patrolling Zerglings just to make sure no proxy pylons get thrown down.
Yeah, that's very important. And he can scout out if there's a probe just hiding away, and he wants to get rid of that too. So it's very smart to leave the Zergling on a shift attack queue and patrol around the map.
Early third gas for Finale here before his cyber core finishes. So we'll see what sort of tech he goes with. Yep, Stargate. That's what I was anticipating, and we'll see how much damage he can get done.
Will it be a double Stargate, or will it be a single Stargate now? That's what we're waiting to see.
I don't know. He is producing sentries behind this, though, which is a pretty big gas dump, so I assume it's going to be the single 1 Void Ray, 3 Phoenixes in conjunction with some gateway play.
Yeah.
But we'll certainly find out in a bit. He could throw us for a loop.
And Stargate openings now for Protoss are pretty common off of 2 bases because that single Stargate gives you so much flexibility. You can snap Overlords off in the middle of the map. You can prevent that perfect scout and map control that Slush currently has on the map. And maybe you can force an overreaction from the Zerg too. Now this Zealot will go down, but not before it gets a full scout on that third hatchery.
Yes, it does. And it was actually kind of a cute little thing. I don't know if you noticed, but the Zerglings were just following behind the Queen. So the Zealot came down, just saw the Queen. I was like, okay, I'm going to go attack that. And the Zerglings were actually hidden out of view because they were tailing right behind the Queen and then popped out and surprised Slush. I don't think that he would have gone after that Queen right away. He would have tucked himself back to the middle line after getting a scout if he would have seen those Zerglings.
And that's why those 4 Zerglings in the beginning are really nice to have. So he picks off that Zealot. Looks like we have Overlords positioning themselves, but the Void Ray is about to hit the ground. 3 gateways also being warped in from Ire. And with the Phoenix following up as well, it looks like MVP Finale will be going with exactly what you said, the Void Ray 3 Phoenix composition.
Yeah, but, you know, there is already layer tech well on the way for Slush, and he has his Evolution Chamber finished up, so if he gets a beat on this, which, oh, look at this! The Stargate actually is rallying directly across such that the Void Ray wasn't initially spotted. Okay, then it did take out the Zergling over at the Xel'Naga Tower, so now it's revealed we do have our first Spore Crawler on the way, but that's not a lot of anti-air coming out for Slush. There we go, finally a second. And hopefully we'll see a third here in a bit, too.
Yeah, he's probably going to want to get 1 Spore at every base and a pylon. Oh, now you can use the air units to scout the high ground and then warp in because 3 warp gates are already done. In fact, I think he has 4 warp gates total because he has 1 at the front door. This is going to be a very interesting timing attack, and if Slush doesn't start producing units now, he has 12 Zerglings. He might be able to hold this. This is going to be a close one. He still doesn't know about that pylon, though, which is huge.
Right, you're definitely right.
He's warping on the low ground.
Well, there's going to be a few Zealots that run through the front with the frontal attack force, and that'll help to deter the Spore Crawlers. And then any reinforcements, I think, are just going to come straight from the back.
I think so, too.
We'll find out here in a bit. Is there a Phoenix picking off Overlords everywhere? No. Okay.
He's just chilling with his Phoenix Void Ray. I don't know where his Void Ray even is at.
A lot of Zealots finishing up with +1.
Huh, this is very interesting. Now his forces are still there. They're just waiting to kind of walk in there. Maybe right now Finale's trying to draw Slush offside, so to say, and get his units out of position so he can run in there and take the third. Force fields were kind of forced out right there. And here comes Finale with a Zealot Phoenix composition and a solo Void Ray. And we'll see if this can do any damage.
Man, that's a lot of damage output in these Zealots, I must say. Let's see if that actually draws the forces back. I'm not sure. A bunch of roaches did just pop out, though. Maybe he just feels he can't assault into it quite yet.
Yeah, I guess he decided to get cold feet at the last second and he pulled away. I think I agree with that, though, because Slush had those roaches on the way, and those Zealots were probably not going to make a dent in the roaches. So Slush holds on there, and he will push these Phoenixes away as well with his Queens. Meanwhile, in the middle of the map, Zerglings surrounding the sentries. At the very least, they force the expenditure of force fields, but it looks like Finale cleans that up pretty well.
Yeah, he doesn't actually lose any of his sentries there.
20 roaches on the way.
That is a lot. There's already a bunch on the field. 10 already. He's going to have 30 roaches. They're going to be well upgraded. Wow. Burrow and roach speed are done. And as is being pointed out here, there is a third base on the way. At the same time, we actually see a transition over to Robo Bay. So there is going to be some Colossus play here in a bit. And
he might actually want to make
it
an Immortal first before he makes a Colossus with the amount of roaches hitting the field. The sad thing for Finale is, though, he doesn't know that 30 roaches are about to hit the field. And I think what Slush is gearing up for is this timing attack into that third Nexus to keep the Protoss from having 3 bases. And look, he doesn't reveal his roaches to that probe or pylon.
I do believe, though, that the initial little push-up of Zealots right here did see the roaches on the high ground.
But he didn't know about the 20 more roaches coming out.
Oh, definitely. I agree with you 100%. This Void Ray already has a couple of kills. It's going to be able to nab itself a few more and hopefully charge itself up, because that will actually be quite a benefit for Finale. Immediately canceling his Nexus. He's preparing as many forces as possible. A Colossus is about to hit the field. Thermal Lance on the way. This is a big moment for Finale, though. If he holds right now, Slush could be in a bad way, but Slush is going to go up 2 bases on his opponent.
I think Slush did exactly what he needed to do to stay on top in this game. Delaying that third Nexus from going up is pretty crucial in ZVP, and that's going to delay the Protoss player for a very, very long time. Now, what Slush is doing is he's got this slight window to drone up and get another hatchery, and then he's going to want to start pumping Corruptors, Roaches, Zerglings, everything, get the upgrades, because he will have to hold off this 2-base push that Finale is eventually going to come with.
And Finale is banking so many resources because he was supply blocked very badly for a while there. 4 more pylons did just finish up, though, so he has a little bit of supply overhead, starting his second Colossus. And that Thermal Lance is going to finish up momentarily as well. But up to now, it's actually been a very passive game.
Yeah, it has been pretty passive, except the fact that Slush attacked that third Nexus and forced a full cancel, but no real engagement as of yet. There's the drones coming out for Slush. There's Finale grabbing the third. The Zergling, the burrowed Zergling actually was burrowed just a hair away from the Nexus, so it wasn't able to prevent the Nexus from going down. If you look at the third Nexus, you guys can see that Zergling just barely out of vision.
Out of range.
Oh, it's a bit sad.
Oh, Photon Cannon deals with it. Bye-bye.
He almost pulled the Zergling away.
Yeah, nice.
Now, it looks like Slush knows about the Colossus because he's getting a Spire up. He's going to want to get Corruptors out really fast, Cats, if he wants to deal with those Colossus.
There are 2 Colossi out, though, and that 2 Colossi with even just a modicum of air cover is going to be a pretty powerful attack, especially because, wow, Finale is, well, now tight on workers, but has a very substantial army along with this. He's only backed by about 25 supply, although we did just see, I believe, yeah, Hive Tech is finished up for Slush.
You know what? I really think Slush is making a mistake here. I don't know what he's waiting for because he's maxed, and even if he's trying to wait for Corruptors, he's maxed, so he can't make any Corruptors. He actually should slam into the Protoss army right now because he's letting the Protoss army max out, and then he's going to have a really hard time with just pure Roaches to hold off this attack. I think he might have missed his window of opportunity, and this could just be a steamroll if Finale attacks.
Well, we'll see if that's going to happen, as Slush does have that big Roach number, but like you said, just letting that very high-tech force come out for our Protoss player.
Brood Lords, but he's already maxed.
Colossus. And Ultras coming up, and Adrenal Glands, and 2-2 on the way, all at the same time. So, is there an observer with this army? There's got to be some sort of mobile detection because he knows Burrow is out there. Interesting. One Phoenix does go down, and there's a Warp Prism coming up in the meantime.
I think that Slush might have made a dire mistake, but we'll see if he can still get back in. He has all his Hive upgrades coming, but the problem here is if both players trade in the middle of the map, usually Protoss is going to win out that battle with just pure Roaches from the Zerg side, and then Slush will be hard-pressed to re-macro everything. And
now Finale is at a moment where he's actually on even bases with his opponents, and just a second ago it was 4-2. Now it's evened up, so Slush is looking like he's in a lot worse position.
Yeah, and all of his banked resources are for naught here, unless he trades really well. He does get a good engage, but the force fields go down, and the Blink getting out of the way here. Queens have to fight as well, but Slush's army is getting ravaged right now. His entire army goes down. He's got to re-macro quickly, but I don't think he's got enough time to do so. Now Finale can take off one of the bases really easily.
And here comes Finale, and he's going to push his way into the TAC or the Economy.
We'll find out. Natural?
Oh, there's a Warp Prism into the 4th at the same time that he's going to push up into the Natural, where actually all of Slush's tech is sitting at. The Raider Spire is going to fall pretty quickly. There's just not that many forces there. Slush is remax once again. These 30 Roaches about to pop up, but that's not the forces he wanted to remax on. And I think that's just going to be a temporary stopgap measure until Finale is able to completely kill not just his tech here, but also his main.
I kind of like the decision by Finale to go right into the Natural, too, because he knows all the tech buildings are focused there, and he could pretty much end the game, which he has now because he's killed the Greater Spire, he's killed the Hive off, or he will shortly, and 7 Ultras are on the way, but all that Finale has to do now is pull out. He doesn't have to actually commit to this attack. He can pull out and then just play a long game, or he could probably just kill off the 7 Ultras. Really,
I was going to say, I'm not going to lie. Yeah, I think he can just go ahead and move in and just kill it straight up. Yeah. Especially if he engages at a little choke point here, where those the effect of the Ultras is minimized. And we'll see if that's going to be the case. We have a handful of Stalkers up in the top right-hand corner. A bunch of Roaches are going to make their way up here, but there's enough Blink Stalkers and a couple of Photon Cannons to go ahead and pull all those away. And, oh, just drones being slaughtered. Another base is going to fall pretty soon. Not sure where the Ultras are at. There they are, and they've lasted for about a second and a half.
Yeah, that's not going to cut it. And Slush is going to GG, so Slush finally drops down in this Team Arena Challenge after you went 2-0, so it looks like Complexity MVP may be having a comeback here.
수상장